What's up YouTube? It's Mr. Friendly here, and welcome to the very first episode of Recipe for a Deck. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys a Rat Toolbox deck. It is what I call a Rat Toolbox Return deck. It's one of my builds. It's really fun, pretty consistent, pretty competitive as well, and it is a budget deck. It is a deck that will cost no more than $30 to buy if you're starting out from scratch. And just to tell you, all decks in this series will be for sale, so $30, that's it, if you were to buy from me, and also if you were to make it from scratch yourself. And in many of my videos, I like to point out one of the key cards of the deck, or the star of the deck, that makes the deck run really good. And in this case, it's obvious that it's Giant Rat. This card is what makes Giant Rat or Rat Toolbox. It basically searches everything out, gives you multiple pluses, and it gets annoying. So let's get on to the actual deck recipe. And just to tell you, the main ingredient of the deck should always be run in threes. So for example, if you were to play a Lightsworn deck, and you were to, let's say, the start of the deck is obviously Judgment Dragon, you would run max copy of it, so it would be at 2. Or if it's a Blackwing deck, you would run max copies of Black Whirlwind. And in this case, I think it's 2. So let's get on to the monsters. Okay, so moving on to the actual deck recipe, we have the monsters. So now we obviously have 3 Giant Rats, 3 copies of Giant Rats because it's the most important card. Now we have 3 Nimbo Momongas. These are your battle searchers. They're pretty good. They help you gain some life points, and because when they're destroyed by battle while they're face down, I think you get to search out 2 more from your deck and put them face down defense position. When they're destroyed, you gain 1,000 life points. So it's really good, and it's really good in this deck because I'll be telling you why this card is here and why this is the return build. Then we got 2 copies of Psychic Commander. It's searchable by Giant Rat. Oh yeah, I forgot. These guys are searchable by Giant Rat. Also, Psychic Commanders are 1,400 attack monsters that are also searchable by Giant Rat. The effect of them is that you can pay about maximum 500 life points to decrease your opponent's monster's attack. So they're basically 1900. And Exile Force, no need to explain. Really old card, searchable by Giant Rat. When it comes out, you just tribute it and you kill a card. And this deck is pretty good against like Little City and Gemini City and Gadgets. Well, any deck that uses like skill drain or whatever, because you know this overcomes it, this overcomes it, this overcomes it. Really good. Now we got Card Trooper. One of the main cards too, because it gets to dump your monsters into a graveyard, and grandmole just bounce synchros. Now we got DD lineup. We have 2 DD warriors. You get to search these guys out by Giant Rats, so really nice. And we have 1 DD warrior lady and 1 DD assailant. Now the best part of the deck, 2 Bazoo the Soul Eater. I was thinking about running 3, but 2 is good because what you can do is, if you guys aren't familiar, Bazoo lets you remove up to 3 monsters from your graveyard from play in order to increase its attack by 300 for each of the removed monsters that you removed. So in this case, Card Trooper is able to dump most of your cards into the graveyard, and also Nimbo Momonga is able to thin out your deck at the same time, make you gain life points, and fill your graveyard up with these guys as well. Same thing with Exile Force. You most of the time you would get these guys in the graveyard. Same thing with Giant Rats. You would get these guys in the graveyard, and you would basically just remove these by using this card's effect, and you would have a 2500 beater. That is stronger than a standard Monarch. So really nice. And I'll be showing you later on why this card, comes into play. So last but not least, Gorz. You're not going to be running, you're not going to be having a lot of field presence. So Gorz helps you out. And just to tell you, I think Gorz is the most expensive card in this deck, I believe. So moving on to the spells. Okay, we're back with spells. Okay, so let's start off by some of the staple cards. such as 2 fissures. You can run Smash and Ground if you want, but like I said, it's a budget deck. Now we have 1 Swords of Revealing Light, 1 Heavy Storm for back row, Lightning Vortex and Brain Control for some more destruction, and OTK, which this deck can OTK, I guess. And now we have some of the battle cards. Book of Moon and Enemy Controller as sort of your battle tricks, because sometimes this deck just doesn't really flow really well. You can play around with these cards to sort of switch your opponent's monster to defense, kill them, or tribute using, enemy controller as second effect. Now I've got 2 Shrinks. I think this is a really nice card in this deck, because a lot of times when your opponent is frustrated, they're just gonna go, okay, I'm gonna attack you, and because even though if they know that your giant rat's gonna be killed by battle, they want you to bring something else out, you use Shrink. And this is really good against Stardust. I mean, this deck just, like, you can't win against Stardust, because, like, all you can do is hope for a DD monster or a compulsory. That's the only way to get rid of it. Now we have a Rhoda. Rhoda's just, really good. It searches out your DD Warrior Lady, your DD Warriors, and your DD Assailant. And I think it searches out... yeah, I don't know, but it just searches out a lot of stuff. And now we have 2 creature swaps. Really funny things can be done with these cards. When in your giant rat, you get so many pluses. So that's basically it. Let's move on to the traps. For traps, it's really simple. We have 2 trap holes. You could put in bottomlesses if you want, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to swap out bottomlesses, because it's not really much help anyway. Because you can just really destroy any synchro monsters, any big monsters really easily. So all you need to do is keep in mind that trap holes are sometimes better than bottomlesses, because it's really good against Blackwings, and it's good against like really small monsters. But it kind of sucks against Glider Beasts, since, they can recycle with their Equest. Then we got Sakuretsu Armor. Obviously, it's a budget deck. You could use Mirror Force if you want. We have Compulsory Kill Stardust, one of the main threats to this deck. Now we have 2 Wabokus. I didn't think of putting this in here, but then at the last minute, when I play tested, it was really good, because it just, once you play this, they can't OTK you. You could use Lightning Warriors if you want, but I don't even have any. That's kind of sad. Then we got Call of the Hana, stable card. So yeah, revive your rats or revive your card trooper, stuff like that. Now I have one of the main cards. Return from a Different Dimension. A few of the combos you can do with this deck is that what you want to do is you want to get this guy out, and you want to remove a lot of your like cards from the graveyard to boost this guy's attack. And what I told you to do was, use Card Trooper, Mill, and Nimbo Momonga, get killed by battle, remove them, and then when you want to push for game, this card lets you push for game. And this is sort of one of the big surprises in this deck your opponent wouldn't see coming. It's just really nice. And the other thing is you can get back your DD monsters, such as your DD Warrior Lady, DD Warrior, DD Assailant. Get it back. Really nice. So yeah, that's it for the traps. So remember, check out. Last but not least, we have the extra deck. And if you're a budget player and you have no extra deck cards or synchro monsters, this is all you need. It's 1 Black Rose Dragon, and it's limited to 1 anyway, so whatever. Because you run 1 Psychic Commander, and most of your cards are level 4, and you also run a Brain Control. So therefore, 4 plus 3 equals 7, and this card is really helpful because sometimes your opponent might, like, I don't know, set 10 cards or play, like, recklessly. You only have a few monsters on your field. You synchro to a Black Rose, you blow the field up. You get multiple pluses. And that's it. That's the deck recipe. Make sure you thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below. And give me some feedback on how I can make this series better. And as always, the deck recipe will be on the bottom now, so go check it out. Yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Peace out.